Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's Thursday morning. Where did this week go? Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. It's me, Mitch, and my friends. Side view this morning. Drink it if you got it. That's good. I'll do it again. And I trust everything's working. The mic's on. The coffee is not bad. Certainly drinkable. And I'm highly caffeinated this morning, like I have been for the past couple of days. For the second morning in a row, I was out of bed at 4:30. Went through the regimen that you saw on the video yesterday. Pretty much duplicated it today. Worked out at least a half an hour. I feel it a little bit, but I'm mentally wide awake. I noticed something this morning that kind of astounding, and who knows what to blame it on, but this morning, believe it or not, my eyesight is as sharp as a tack. Much sharper than I can remember in months. I'm looking at the text on the computer screen, and it is razor sharp. So I don't know. I like to think that maybe it's the caffeine and the Lucine that I took second morning in a row. It's better today than it was yesterday. You know how I'm usually looking forward and maybe squinting to try to read things? I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if it continues this way, but this is amazing. Something's happening. I hope it's something good. I hope it isn't just some brief flash in the pan of clarity before I actually go completely to hell. But time will tell. I see everybody's piling in. 66 of you so far. Good morning to you. Today's Thursday. And tonight is, let me show you. Tonight is the private community live stream. And we have almost 200 members. Look at it. I just updated this. Rick, you're on it now, the list. But look at this. These are all people. Some of you maybe show up tonight in the chat. But wow. That's even I'm impressed. But that is on the homepage of the OldGuyCarnivore website. Home of links to stuff I use, where you can go and buy anything you like from Amazon and help me out a little and support the channel. So there's a shameless plug. We got the banner running. Let's get rid of that, because you are all welcome here for sure. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. Let's see here. There's my link if you want to buy a coffee for the old guy. Francine Bourgeois, I see a question popped up already right there in the chat. Mitch, can you explain why the four-stomached animals are preferred over others for us carnivores? Yes, I can tell you that. It's a long explanation. They're called ruminant animals. They are the animals that have the most efficient and best machinery to extract the most nutrients and energy from low energy plants. Humans don't have that machinery anymore. So when a cow eats plants, their bodies very efficiently convert them to the most nutritious proteins and fats, and we don't. They have hind guts to ferment these things. As we became meat eaters over millions of years, we didn't need that anymore. And when you don't need things, they go away. And our appendix right now is where our hind gut used to connect and doesn't anymore. So a pig, for example, is a monogastric animal, one stomach. But the ruminants are the most efficient at extracting the last ounce of anything beneficial from plants, have the gut bacteria in their hind gut to ferment these things, turn them into the short-chain fatty acids and all the things that makes beef, goat, lamb, and other deer ruminants the most nutritious for us to eat, I think. I don't think I'm wrong about that one. So yeah, you certainly can be healthy eating eggs and bacon and pig and fish and other things that are not ruminants. But when it comes to, I think that the beef is the epitome, and lamb and goat and other ruminants are the epitome of the most nutritious stuff we can put in our body. Well, got a question out of the way real quick. Now, let me take a look here at my show notes and get this stuff going. I was watching the replay from yesterday, and I realized that I have basically no filters on things that I say. An attorney of mine from 50 years ago looked at me one day and said, Mitch, his name was Rick. I said, what, Rick? He said, Mitch, do you know that whatever's on your mind just comes flying right out of your mouth? I said, well, I wasn't aware of it, but I guess it's probably true because I speak my mind. I occasionally have to be cognizant of the obscenity, or every other word out of my mouth would be a four-letter word, and I managed to do that. But you guys can rest assured that if I'm thinking it, usually I'm saying it without trying to reword it, massage it, make it politically correct. And sometimes I think maybe that offends people. I would think that's a good trait to have. Tell us what you really think. People don't very often say that to me. Mitch, tell us what you really think. You know what I really think every time I open my mouth. I said I did my morning regimen. The video, and I wanted to talk about this just for a few seconds. The video that I put out yesterday shows you what I do, step by step. Hydrate first. Turns out it's a lot more important than I ever thought it was. But drinking first thing before you do anything, very close to when you get out of bed, you're at probably the most dehydrated state that you'll ever be in the course of a day. And we need water in our cells to create energy. We must be hydrated. So I drank, it feels like half of this thing, first thing this morning, before I did anything else, before I even made my coffee. And if you remember in that video, I got up, went into the kitchen, put the electrolyte mix in here, poured the ice water on top of it, and immediately drank and hydrated. Maybe that's responsible for my eyesight, I don't know, getting better, the fact that I feel more energetic. Whatever it is, something's working. Then I made the coffee, and it didn't take very long to go through all that stuff. Put the filter in, put the pieces of coffee in, poured the water in the coffee, turned it on. What happens, I took the big jug of Lucine out of the cabinet. I took a spoonful of it, a scoopful, and interesting, if you ever do buy those big jugs of these supplements, they do come with a scoop. Odds are that scoop is buried in the powder. I opened it up and I said, where's the scoop? I took a fork and dug around in there. Sure enough, there was the scoop. So I did have to dig it out, clean the powder off of it, but it was there on top this morning. So it didn't sink back to the bottom, but in all the shipping and traveling, it's going to get shook up and the scoop's going to be swallowed by the powder. So I found the scoop. It's a different size scoop that came with my electrolyte mix when I used to buy it. It's a little bigger, so it is 5 gram serving. So I took 1 scoop of that, put it in the bottom of my cup. When the coffee was done brewing, I went ahead and put it in there, went over, sat down in front of the TV. It wasn't time for kills yet. It was still before 6. It was about 5:30 by this time. And I sat there and drank that coffee. And it was not that unpleasant. And no, it wasn't delicious. But it was certainly drinkable. And I think it's actually a taste that you could get used to. And it didn't bother me at all. And that's one of the complaints that so many people had in the research I did, was just how bitter this stuff is. Now, I'm kind of happy that it's bitter. And that tells me that there's some of it in there. It isn't one of these phony supplements. You could tell it's real Lucine because it lives up to the hype about the taste and the smell of it. So that's okay. That's okay. I'd rather be confident that the supplement I bought was legitimate. And I'm pretty sure that it is. I hope so, because I have a big jar of creatine, which is the other half of this equation. And so I made the video yesterday and I put it out there, and this is what I do. I didn't say why. Everything, from the way I make the coffee, from the brand of coffee that I buy, from the timing of how I time the coffee after the hydration, from the amount of the Lucine that I use, to the timing of the exercise. Everything is something that I, after hearing every side of every argument, thought made the most sense to me. Obviously. And why am I not surprised? Having read all the comments on that video, my logic and my reasoning obviously was lost on so many people, because true to form, I got comments that were so long I couldn't read them all, telling me why I'm doing it wrong and what I need to do to fix it. You need to do it this way, Mitch. You should be doing it that way. The way you're doing it is no good. You should be doing it the way I'm doing it. One after another. My attitude reading those comments was I got pissed off. Sorry. I got angry at so many of you. I love so many of you. So many people just took it for what it was and didn't try to think you were that much smarter than me. You may be smarter than me. I don't claim to be that much smarter than everybody. But we all have reasons or things that make sense to us for doing what we do. And I never, ever tell you this is the way you have to do anything. Your situation may not be like mine. You may not do something. You may be 20 years younger than me. Maybe you didn't have a stroke 5 months ago. Maybe you're not fighting the devastating effects of sarcopenia due to getting older. Maybe you didn't lose 90% of your skeletal muscle strength because of a stroke. Maybe your situation is different than me. That doesn't mean that I'm doing it wrong if I'm not doing it like you do it, or that you're not doing it wrong if you don't do it like I'm doing it. The thing I'm trying to get across, and the thing I tell everybody that I have to keep saying, number one, I never tell you what to do. I'm not judging anybody. I only tell you what I'm doing, and I can only tell you my opinion. And I talked at great length yesterday about the fact that nobody knows everything. They can't. They can only take their best shot. And that's what I do. And the only thing I have to show that maybe I'm doing something right is the effect it has on me. And I let you judge that every day for yourself. But please, I have a reason and a purpose for every step of that. Trust me, every step. For me, I've tried to make it an exact science tailored to my needs, my situation, my stroke recovery, my becoming a almost 80-year-old man, and make the best of it for me. I think there's an awful lot of people, considering when they talk about muscle loss, they generally say once you get over 40. So the consensus is they consider us old once we pass 40. But I'm here to tell you that it's nothing until you pass 70. That's when it starts to happen. That's when, for most people, death begins. Death. The road to death. That's when you start dying, generally in your 70s. The 60s were a piece of cake compared to the 70s. And I'm sure the 80s are going to be worse. If you make it to 90, you better be doing something right. And the most important thing that you hear over and over again that I believe is that the minute your muscles start to weaken, you accelerate the dying process. And the most important thing that we can do is try to maintain the muscle we have and maybe even build some and move forward into old age, being able to get the hell up out of a chair and not have to buy one of these chairs where the person says, it helps me up. I've fallen, but I can't get up. It's over at that point. And this stroke had pushed me closer to that point than anyone could ever imagine, and it scared the pants off of me. And I've, over the past 5 months, as I haven't been able to exercise and I've watched my strength decline, I'm not ready to start dying yet. So I have been frantically considering things that I never considered before. And you all know how I rail against all this supplementation and medical intervention, and always have said our bodies know what to do, let them do it. But our bodies also know how to die, because none of us don't die. That's one of the true constants. They say death and taxes. You can avoid taxes sometimes, but you're not going to avoid death. So I have a reason for everything. Now, maybe this would be a good time I'm going to make a video. I'm going to make a video because I want it to be out there in a video. And I'm going to, step by step, show you the exact science and reason and physiological reason why I do everything exactly as I'm doing it, with no deviations. Why I decided, even if you don't agree, and you think you need to tell me what I'm doing wrong because that's not the way you do it, understand my thinking. The downside to understanding my thinking is that my thinking may not apply to your situation. So when you tell me things like, why don't you just mix the Lucine with the water and that way it won't ruin your perfectly... There's a reason why it's in the coffee. There's things in the coffee that enhance the absorption of it when you do it all together. If I wanted to put it in water first and drink it, I would. I don't want to hear that. You're wasting your time and you're wasting my time. Hours of my day that I spend, in deference to you guys, actually reading and considering what you say. The comments are not the place for long scientific dissertations about why you think I'm wrong. That's not what they're for. They're not so you can educate everybody else who reads the comments so they know I'm wrong. Go somewhere else to prove how smart you are, please. I'm not trying to prove how smart I am. I'm trying to save my life, build up my muscle mass so I can stop this, what has been dying process that has happened to me over the last 5 months, and recover. And there's so many aspects to it. And I can't talk about everything. And every time I talk about any of the science, that's when the comments come up and people start disagreeing. And I got to tell you, it's annoying to me. It makes me want to turn the comments off and just preach and not care what people think. And I don't want to do that. I respect all you guys. I respect your intelligence. And you wouldn't be here if there wasn't a small amount of respect or a large amount for me. So tell me in the comments. Good luck. Tell me, but don't scold me. Don't correct me. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Please. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear doctors tell me that my cholesterol is killing me. I don't want to hear anything. I want to find it out for myself. I made it this far. And for somebody that's been a victim of the medical community and their malpractice most of my life, they killed my parents, both of them, these doctors. They missed a brain bleed and caused me to have brain surgery. My stroke happened where their mistake happened, so I blame that on them. I'm trying to find the right answers for these things. And the problem is, if you just look at YouTube, type in the search bar in YouTube, type in the search bar, Lucine, Leucine. You will get thousands, or creatine even better, thousands of videos with people who vehemently disagree with everybody else's video. How do you know who is correct? That's an art, not a science. You have to recognize the clues, the motives behind the video, what they're trying to sell you. Because that's what drives these things. So you got to become a hell of a detective. And that doesn't mean you're always going to be right. I mean, I joke about the fact that I may be wrong, but I never stop believing that. I'm the last guy to say, I'm right about everything and you're an idiot. I don't do that to people. I have too much respect for people and their autonomy and the fact that we're all a little different. That's for sure. So I'll make a video. I may get it done today. I may not. I got a live stream tonight. I may not do a video today, but I'll make a video and go step by step how I found or how I decided what was important. Now, is it that rigid? Can I make little changes in it that may not really affect the outcome? Certainly. But you got to start. You got to start somewhere. Let me show you one thing, if I can get to it real quick. Bear with me. And I don't mean to lecture you guys, but this is important. This is my life right now. I'm trying to save my life. Let's see if this is what I want. I think it is. Okay. Let me show you what I've been doing for months without talking about it. Because I didn't want to talk about it because I knew what would happen. I would start getting all kinds of advice. And you know, the problem with knowing something is once you read something, and once you learn something or see something, you're stuck with it. You can't unsee it or unlearn it. So the more I research, the more doubts I have, because you always hear both sides, and then you never know whether what you're looking at is actually good. This, my friends, is a study. You see this? This is a study. I read every word of this study. It's from the National Library of Medicine, from the National Institute of Health. It's PubMed. It is the place. And it says, Lucine-enriched nutrients and the regulation of mTOR signaling and human skeletal muscle protein synthesis. Okay? Did I lose you already? And it starts. And it goes on. And it goes on. And it goes on. And it talks about all this stuff. Leucine, an essential amino acid signaling. Essential amino acid. That's what the leucine is. Leucine is not creatine. I've had so many people say, you shouldn't be taking leucine, you need to be taking creatine. I take 50 milligrams of creatine a day. Blah, 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 blah. I've heard it all. Heard it all. Leucine is an amino acid. Creatine is not. They're different. They react differently. They do different things. I think both of them are helpful, but there's a reason why I don't take the creatine first thing in the morning. I do take the leucine, and it has to do with mTOR thresholding. Well, mTOR thresholding is a whole nother thing, because mTOR can also be responsible for too much protein synthesis and creating runaway cells like in cancer cells. So you have to consider that. And how much is enough? And how do you get exactly what you need to benefit you without killing you or causing you to have cancer? All of these things are in this study. And this study goes on and on and on and on and on. But there's highlighted things in here. The combination of leucine-enriched nutrients and resistance exercise enhances both mTOR signaling and muscle protein. That's the purpose of it, is to get the exact, and then they go on to, with references, all these references, and then they go on to say that in conjunction with caffeine, it supercharges it, and you get the real benefits, and it has to be done exactly a certain protocol to get these things. And they cite all the studies that prove this and prove that. Studies that prove it doesn't work. Well, whose studies do you believe? This is what I've been doing. And I come up with this thing that I think is so simple to do, because that's the key. Do all of you want to do a deep dive? I've read 50 studies like this. looking at both the upsides and the downsides and the potential dangers, and came up with a simple protocol that I could follow in the morning, takes an hour, and hopefully start building muscle at the age of 78 again without killing myself while being handicapped from the still lack of movement I have and the inability to walk long distances and exercise. That's what I did for myself. Now, this would work for anybody, I suppose. But if you're getting older and you had some illnesses, these things, then this might be, or it might not be. I'll let you know. Right now, I'm playing lab rat. But that is what I'm up to, okay? I want you to understand that. The problem is, how many people I got here this morning? I got 109 people. Thousands of people watch these videos and have no idea how I do things and what I do. If I try to explain all that I just showed you in a video, nobody's going to sit through all that. They'll bore to crap. That's why I can't watch some of these scientists who do these videos and do nothing but go over studies and trials. It bores the average person. The average person is here on YouTube saying, just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. I don't care why it works. Just tell me what works. Tell me what to do. That's where I get in trouble. If I just do that, then I get scolded by everybody in the comments. And I must have read 5 comments in a row that were pages long of people telling me just how smart they are and how much more they know than I know. I don't need that. I want to read the comments. 2 of those people were so obnoxious, I just got rid of them. I hid them from the channel. I don't want to ever hear from them again. Anyway, it upset me that yesterday, I got to that point again. After reading those comments, I said to him, why, Mitch, do you subject yourself to this abuse? Just quit this YouTube thing. Take care of yourself. But I can't do that. I can't do that. So, for you people that are here today, my best friends, maybe that'll explain some of my rants now and then. And this is for me, about a lot more than just idle chit-chat and saying hi to our friends. This is serious for me. I'm in a mode to save my life after the medical community has completely finished trashing it with bad dietary advice, botched surgeries, bad nutritional advice or lack thereof. And I'm trying to figure out what the hell is really going on here. And I think I've got a lot more figured out than most people. Not only what advice to take, but what advice not to take. And who to say, you're a moron, go away. And I'm getting more and more impatient these days with people like that. So, hey, Mark C. gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Mark. There'll be 5 new people. 5 new people that will be able this evening to join the private community live stream, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, I've wasted half an hour. But that maybe was a little rant, but it needed to be said because I want to have some credibility. I just don't want to be considered some crazy old fart who keeps coming up with harebrained schemes for no reason because he heard Ken Berry say it. I don't work that way. I take everything all of them say with a grain of sand and I have to figure out if they're credible or not. Because nobody, not Ken Berry, not Anthony Chafee, not Sean Baker, not any of the superstars, knows everything and is right 100% of the time. I'm sorry, that is not in the human experience that somebody could know everything about everything. And I talked about that yesterday. Another thing, it was pointed out to me. Well, you shouldn't use paper filters because Dave Asprey said, well, Dave Asprey is a wild man. Okay, I know Dave Asprey. I've got a book of his right here. It says Fast This Way, and I read the book. The guy, a smart guy, but at the time he wrote this book, he was living in a cave, experimenting with hallucinogenics, mushrooms and things. All these people have developed their own ideas. There's a reason why. The most important reason to use the paper filters that I was able to find out, and I got it from a few different sources. The most important reason is because it will filter out those carcinogens that are in the coffee and the coffee oils. So yes, maybe by using a paper filter, you don't get quite the flavor you might get. But on the other hand, maybe you won't get cancer either. What's more important to you, the flavor of the coffee or whether it's going to give you potentially cancer? My logic says, hell with the flavor, ditch the cancer. Use the paper filters. That's one of the main points that I considered when I got to the point that the coffee and the caffeine are really a net positive, simply, and most importantly, by preparing the coffee, preparing it from the properly roasted method. Because what happens is when you dark roast the coffee, you have more of the Maillard reaction, which does something to the sugars and increases the risk of the stuff in it that could cause the cancer. But somebody had to tell me, Dave Asprey said, I don't care. I've heard what Dave Asprey said already. I wish people would just give me a little credit. Now, maybe I'm too sensitive on this stuff. I don't like to be told you're wrong because. Maybe I consider something that you didn't. Just take what I say, follow the advice. It's not even advice. If I somewhere down the road, 30 years from now, can come on here and at 110 years old, still drinking morning coffee, then I can say to you, okay, I've been doing this for 30 years and obviously it's working. I can't do that yet. Now it's just theory, just a theory. And whether you believe it or not, guys, I really mean only to help people and be very, very careful that something I say or something I do doesn't cause anybody the harm or the suffering in their life. Then my reliance on all of the so-called experts who don't know how to think and are corrupt and money-driven and will give advice to enrich themselves, I couldn't live with myself if I did that. I really couldn't. And that's why I started doing this Carnivore YouTube, to say, here I am, old guy, older than almost everybody that's on YouTube. There's no other 78-year-old YouTubers that have a presence like I do on YouTube. Every day, every morning. They just aren't there. They're the oldest of them who say, oh, I'm old. Is Sean Baker, he's 59. That's close to my son's age. You know, so I'm trying to use myself and say, see, here I am. If I drop dead, you can say, well, maybe I shouldn't listen to this guy. But it's an experiment. That's what life is. Life is an experiment. I think that's all the show notes I have. Yeah, one more thing on a lighter note. I got an email this morning from Cynthia in the United Kingdom, and Cynthia sent me a picture of herself. So Cynthia, here you are in your Mitch Fitz t-shirt, and that, my friends, is Cynthia. Thank you so much for that. I will put it on the website in the gallery of pictures of all the coffee cups and shirts and everything else. And that made my day this morning. So thank you so much. She sent me an email. I answered her right away. She said, Cynthia from the UK. I got a picture. I finally got the shirt. I emailed her immediately, right back. Send a picture. And within a minute or two, boom, another email. There was the picture, and out it went. So that was a new record speed record for me. At any rate, where were we? Okay, I haven't said hi to the first guy. I see that they had another gift. Furrow Grandma, I think. Furrow Grandma sent 5 Old Guy memberships as well as Mark C. 10 memberships. Wow, the private community is going to grow. And let's see who got them. Elisa from Denmark got them. Dan Thompson got them. Aunt Sam got one. Sandra Hendry and Mr. Zik, DZIK. Welcome to the private community. I hope we see you tonight at the live stream. I hope to see a lot of people there. I have no idea how many people actually show up. Let me bring this chat back down to the bottom. So obviously, going long today, but that's okay. That's okay. Here we go. Florida. Is your Lucine an extract of some natural food or a lab coat? No, it's all Lucine. You're not going to synthesize an amino acid. Lucine is one of the most abundant amino acids. It's in everything animal. It's not in plants, however. But you could conceivably get enough Lucine, and most of we carnivores probably do, just from the amount of meat that we eat, because we do, by virtue of the fact that we eat animals, get more protein than most. And animal protein is a complete protein. It's got all the amino acids, including the 9 essential ones. But I am supplementing it in a specific, and I think well conceived and put together protocol to serve one particular purpose, and that is to give a jolt, reach the mTOR threshold, which triggers muscle synthesis to get the biggest bang, considering the timing of it, the fasted state that I'm in, because just eating the protein with Lucine will not accomplish the same thing. It is a strategy to make the most out of moderate exercise, and the requirements for it to work are you must be hydrated first. You must take the Lucine. They say it works better in the presence of caffeine. You have to really shock, in a way, the mTOR response. You have to reach what they call the mTOR trigger. And then you've got to do the workout in order to benefit from this before you put the first drop of food in your mouth. The science behind it makes a lot of sense, and I'll tell you how it works out. But I'm feeling better this morning than I felt in a long time. I'm seeing clearer. I think my brain is working. So the Lucine is a molecule that more than likely is not synthesized. If they could synthesize it, it wouldn't make any difference, because a molecule is a molecule. And there's nothing in this Lucine powder other than Lucine. There's no fillers, no binders, no preservatives, no nothing. This is Lucine. It's not expensive. It's not very complicated. It's abundant as hell. It's everywhere. So these people that make it just have to manage a way to isolate it. I'm sure they got that down with science as well. So, yep. Good question, though. Good question. But But that's another thing, which there's 100 different brands of it. Which do you take? Well, they're all pretty much the same. And that was the consensus that I heard among so many of the people. It's basically, Lucine is Lucine. It's not rocket science. And it's not creatine and works differently than creatine. Creatine is a molecule synthesized by the human body made of 3 different amino acids. Glycine, a couple other ones. It's a compound. Creatine is a compound. Lucine is a building block. It's an amino acid. The building blocks are the things that proteins are built out of. Proteins aren't built out of compounds. They're built out of amino acids. And in that respect, they are wildly different in what they do. So my regimen, when I get, and I'm working on the creatine angle now, because the only thing I'm still up in the air about the creatine is how much. How much? There's a lot of controversy. 5 grams a day seems to be the base. 5 grams a day will benefit you in the muscle building department, but 10 or 15 grams a day is where the mental and brain health aspects of it get added in. And do I want to spread the dose out all day? Do I want to take it in the morning when I take the Lucine? Do I want to take the whole 10 or 15 gram dose just once a day? Will it upset my stomach? There's so many considerations, and I'm working on it, but I'm trying to do this one thing at a time. You can only research so much, especially in areas where everybody's got an opinion and is staunchly defending their opinion as being right because they're smarter than everybody else. And what's right for one person may be wrong for the other person. So many variables. I just want to give myself the best shot, and more important than anything else, once I figure it out, have a regimen that's painless, easy to stick to. I know it's good for me. I see the results, whether I build muscle or energy or whatever, and it's not rocket science to keep doing it. At that point, if anybody else wants to go on this ride, you can probably say to yourself in a confident manner, well, Mitch is 135 years old. Evidently, it worked for him. Maybe I should do it. That's the best I can do for anybody. My name isn't Ben Bigman, but how many of you can watch Bart K explaining pathways and physiology and lab tests and studies? How many people can be engrossed by that? No. You watch YouTube to be educated, but primarily to be entertained. And I find myself, if I go down too many of these rabbit holes, you guys are completely ignoring me and talking about rebuilding the engine in your truck, which is the subject of our conversation today. Excuse me a second. We all know who I'm talking about? Yes, sir. Hi, Rick. How you doing? All right, I haven't said hi to anybody yet. I am way back at the beginning of the chat. Let me look for some questions. Mark C. gifted the memberships. Thank you so much, Mark. Very generous of you guys. Appreciate it. Peter's here. How you doing, Peter? I'm going to miss saying hi to everybody this morning, so my apologies. My apologies. I get going. Maybe that's why you guys like me. Very rarely without something to say. Oh my gosh, agrees with me. That's right, Mitch. We can share many things, the similarities about the carnivore way, but it's still an individual process. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Absolutely. And my needs aren't the same as yours. But I started my journey here on YouTube with aging and the effects of it and how carnivore can help as a prime focus, because There's no shortage of younger people, but there's not many like me. You probably are saying to yourself, well, thank God for that, Mitch. I don't know how many like you we could actually put up with. And I wouldn't blame you for thinking that. Meathead sent me an email. That's great. That's great. Oh, man. I'm going to read this, because this is great. It's titled Leaps and Bounds. Mitch, today the OG Mitch, Phoenix rising from the flames. You're on fire, not skipping a beat. Your doctors that naysay you pushing all the BS meds, saying you will not be 80% of your old self, need to watch today's live. Thanks so much, man. Thanks so much, Kurt. That's very nice of you to say. And if you want to say something to me, send me an email. I respond and read all my emails. Now, if you send me an email, like some of my viewers do, and I appreciate the fact that I'm in their thoughts, but if you throw me on a bulk mailing list with all your other friends and send me YouTube links all day long, this is funny. You should watch this. With nothing else, I will delete that email immediately. I don't have time. I don't care. I don't want to be concerned about funny cat videos or anything else that you might think is clever, whether it be politically relevant or anything. Don't send me links to videos to watch. Chances are, if it's anything relevant to carnivore, I've probably already seen it. I don't like to click links in emails. Even if I know who they're from, there's too much phishing and fraud. So I will not click your link, usually, if there is no description of it. If it's just watch this and a link, I delete them immediately. You're wasting your time and you're wasting my time, because every time my phone goes ding during the day, I look at it and I get so tired of having to grab my phone, unlock it, see what it is, because I get emails from clients of mine that demand immediate attention. So I have to look at everything. I can't turn the notifications off. And I'm so tired of people sending me trivial, frivolous nonsense and cause me to have to stop what I'm doing, look at my phone to see if it isn't something I need to deal with. Like a $100 million company whose website just went down. I can't ignore that stuff. So please be considerate of me. But if you want me to know something or want to ask you something and it's relevant and it has something to do with carnivore and a problem you might be having, anytime, please. I'm here. And I answer them. Unlike so many of these carnivore people that don't give a darn about you and do their thing. And you and I both know them. We've all tried to email them, and we've never heard back. That's it. That's it. And very few of them, with pushing 50,000 subscribers, ever give you any personal attention. And I try, because I have a lot of respect for you guys. Honestly do. Honestly do. Right. Let's see. Lori Wetzel loves me. Thank you, Lori. Back at you. Back at you. Mark C. says, morning. August 6th was his 2-year carniversary. Congratulations, man. Way to go. Way to go. And Mark C.'s been a long-time member. Yeah, since the beginning. 19 months. Holy cow. Holy cow. I'm not going to be able to read all these things. I'm so far behind right now. But that's okay. We'll talk tonight as well. What time is it? It's almost 9:30 already. Holy cow. Here's an old fart. Martin and Winsky. Hi, Martin. Martin's been around a long time. I'm only 1 day younger than you. I'm convinced that you're helping me have a better and longer old age. Thank you, Martin. I hope so. I hope we can all outlive everybody else. Drinking our coffee, puffing on our cigars, eating our bacon and eggs with LDLs in the hundreds, 300, 400. And after the only excuse all these people with this bad advice will say is, well, obviously you're different. And the answer to that is always, no, I'm a human being just like you. I'm not different. You're flat ass wrong. And don't hesitate when you're challenged by these doctors and you're getting them humongous runaround from them and waiting months for an appointment and sitting in labs to get tests and sitting in their waiting rooms because you got to see them every 2 weeks. For them to just change your drugs and put you on more drugs, don't hesitate to tell them, you, my friend, are an ignorant moron. I want no more part of you. You're fired. I'll go without a doctor. I'll be much better off than putting up with you slowly killing me and ruining my life. Now, there are some good doctors out there, but the percentage of ignorant ones that have no idea what LDL even is and drug you for reasons they don't even understand because somebody that works at some pharmacy company has a salesman who's pretty hot looking and comes around to visit you in your office and give you samples and flirt with you because she told you that when a person's LDL is so high, you need to prescribe their drug and we'll pay you a couple $100 every time you do it. And here's the website where you report to us the names of the patients who we need to pay you on. That's the practice of medicine today, folks. And the reason that we're dying of these diseases and conditions at rates that 50 years ago were unfathomable. Fathomable. You say that, stroke or not. Well, tell us how you really feel, Mitch. Yeah, I got to stop holding back. It's a good thing I'm not any bigger than I am, or else they'd be trying to shut me down. I fully believe that. Hi, Jem. I saw that comment on Mitch's video about a filter. Was that person's opinion? Yeah. Dave Asprey said you shouldn't use filters because they filter out the oils, and that's what the flavor is. Well, that's great, Dave. You continue to drink that coffee with the great flavor, and hopefully you figured out how to keep the cancer from happening some other way. Now, it may not be true. Dave Asprey, probably more often right than wrong, but that's something I don't particularly agree with, and I don't need to have Dave Asprey thrown in my face as a final authority on the matter. That's what bothers me. I have nothing against Dave Asprey. I watch the guy, love the guy, smart guy. But I don't agree. I don't agree with 99% of the YouTubers out there. There's something I don't agree with. I could be wrong. They could be wrong. But it doesn't mean I'm not credible because I disagree on one point. It doesn't mean they're not credible either. We talked about that yesterday too. Don't discount everything somebody says because of a small disagreement on one small, maybe not important point. That doesn't make somebody a moron. I think actions make people morons. Michael Prager. Yeah, Michael's an athletic guy, younger than me, and what he does for himself is probably perfect. He's a smart guy, researched and in good shape. In a different place in life and physical situation I'm in. And he does take a lot of creatine, and he's probably doing the right thing. But what he does is not, he can't tell me, Mitch, you're wrong because I do it this way. None of us can do that. I can't tell any of you that what you're doing is wrong because you don't do it like I do it. We all have our different reasons for the things. I don't work out like Michael does every morning at the gym either. I've never been athletic. I've never been very muscular. I'm sure Mike's been an athletic guy all his life. We're all have to tailor these different things we do, take advice that is appropriate for us, or at least, if nothing else, to learn. Hey, Bart Kelly, welcome to channel support, it says. Oh, see you tonight. That's great. I'd like to see this private community really turn into something. We'll see. We'll see. BJS says, Mitch is better on coffee. I'm glad you think I'm better today and you're not annoyed with me. Peter thinks my speech is back to pre-stroke. Not quite. Not quite, Peter. I'm still very aware of certain things that come out a little slurred, and I have to slow down and consciously enunciate. But it is getting better. Those kind of things, the things that require the finest motor skills, that like speech, like balance, like the fine motor skills necessary in my right hand to play the piano again, to move the mouse. And I consciously tried to do it. I set up this entire live stream using the mouse in my right hand, but I can't keep up with it trying to execute the live stream, scrolling and moving. I can't do it fast enough yet. So these things could take a year or more. Not everything will ever return to pre-stroke. Things that took me a lifetime to learn, I won't relearn it in a year. That's just gone. And I'm okay with that. And I'm going to do the best I can. And as long as I can still talk, I'll be here. Michael Pergler agrees with Peter. Thank you. Thank you, guys. But I just pray that none of you have to go through what I went through. And I know many of you have had it a lot worse. God, I've heard horror stories. VGS says, are you taking the creatine in your coffee as well? I haven't finalized the protocol that I'm going to use. I am not going to add the creatine in for a week or two so as not to confuse the fact that these results are concrete. I see these results. Like my eyesight today. I haven't seen the computer screen look this sharp, same glasses, this sharp, in months. I can't remember the last time my eyesight was this sharp. I'm looking at it today. It's crisp. It's perfect. I know that can't be the creatine because I haven't taken any yet. I haven't opened the jar yet. If I was taking the creatine at the same time as the Lucine, then I would have to be saying to myself, well, wonder what did it. Was it the creatine or the Lucine? That's why when you experiment, when you troubleshoot, you can't change any more than one thing at a time. And if it takes time to see the results, you have to give it the time. So the creatine will come in a week or two after I've given the Lucine enough time to say, okay, that worked. I think it's working. I still don't know. I don't think it's the caffeine that sharpened my eyesight because I've been on and off caffeine so many times I can't count them. And I never noticed that. It wasn't until I started taking Lucine yesterday. Now, maybe it's something else. It could always be something else. I don't know. Maybe it was adding back in the exercise after 5 months of no exercise, really, other than physical therapy, which is not really exercise. So I'm trying to be elaborate here and make sure that I can pinpoint what it is I did that caused this thing that I noticed. So we'll see. We'll see. 9:15. Oh, I am scrolling through it. That's great. Gilream says, I take 3 grams creatine, still not building muscle, but my weight lifting is stronger. Yeah, that's the first effect of creatine. Is you get some increased strength. 3 grams is a light dose. The average dose, according to the conventional wisdom, for muscular benefits, endurance benefits, maybe if you could only do 10 reps of a certain weight, maybe you can do 11 now, 10, 15%. But the real big news, the creatine's been around for years. It's been a darling of the bodybuilder set. It's one of the most studied supplements in the history of supplements. There's more literature on creatine. And the good news is it's cheap and it's safe. But the new thing with creatine over the last few years has been what it does to your brain. And it's pretty well accepted now, if you can believe anything you read, that 5 grams a day is not enough to get past that muscle building benefit and into the sharper, clearer, and things that will make up for lack of sleep, for example. They've done a lot of studies where they tested people who they've deprived of sleep. And in that state, the creatine shows amazing effect. And you still have to be careful that even though it shows that effect, there's really no downside to it, because it's just as important in taking anything that increases performance, that you're not going to put your body in a situation where you're in burnout mode and end up doing more damage, like you do with amphetamines, diet pills, excessive amounts of caffeine. Just ask any college student who had to take their SATs the next day and was up 3 nights studying how much coffee and amphetamines they're cramming in. Well, that's great. It might wake you up for a time, but then the crash can be devastating. We're all different. But the key is to try to separate the valuable information from the noise in a world where 99% of what you hear is just noise. Gary's here. Good morning, Gary. How you doing? Oh, God. What's Stuka doing now? Oh, he's talking about breakfast cereal. You guys are... Rick's getting his truck running. See, I told you. Tuka, we don't like you, Mitch. We love you. Thank you, Tuka. I love you guys, too. You're great. You're all great people. Why else would you be watching me or putting up with me? I like to think that my viewers are the smartest, most lovable viewers in the world. Unfortunately, that's the live streams. I can't help the thousands of people that may watch a video who really just happened on me, maybe the first time they've ever seen me, have no idea who I am, and feel like I need their help desperately. They better write me a short novel telling me just exactly how wrong I am and why, citing all the studies. I mean, it gets absurd. Why do people work that hard? I make a comment on a video. My comment is usually, hi. Short and sweet. I don't write books in these comments. I don't even comment on most videos. If I don't agree with somebody, I say, well, enough of that shit. Turn it off. I'm not going to tell them I don't agree with them. Why hurt somebody's feelings? People are just freaking evil. Inconsiderate. Question, Mitch says, Justin, if the creatine reads, yes, I will chronicle the whole thing. And as I settle in on it, I will make a video that with instructions so that if you want to do this, that's the eventual thing. I mean, if it works, I'm not the first guy to discover it, but if I discover something that somebody else discovered that works, I'll pass it on. That's the whole purpose here, is perpetuate the correct stuff and warn people of what to avoid. How else are we going to learn? Gemma says, I sent Mitch Rodney Dangerfield during a smile. He liked it. Yes, I love Rodney. Oh, man. He was such a great guy. Great comedian. Great comedian. You guys are comedians, too. What time is it? 9:25. Well, I'm catching up here. I don't know how much we accomplished today. Yes, Jim. When I say okay to a comment, it's a comment that just was unnecessary and pissed me off. And I typed okay to more comments on yesterday's video than I ever typed okay on a comment. Because in order so I don't have to see that comment, get rid of it. Have YouTube basically say, I've responded. Because if I don't respond to a comment, that comment will keep hounding me until I either delete the comment or delete the user. And I don't like to delete things, and I don't like to delete comments, but I just can't bring myself to click that heart button, which means Mitch loves your comment. Not only don't I love your comment, I despise your comment, and I despise you, whoever made it. So when I say okay, or just K to a comment, you're not quite bad enough for me to have to say, I don't ever want to see you again. But just basically to say, that is a stupid comment from a moron, and I will not dignify it with an answer. And the day comes when I can't have that opinion about some people and the things that they say, I'm going to avoid the human race completely. And I don't want to. I don't want to avoid the human race. I want to avoid that percentage of the human race that are just evil and mean, holier than thou, arrogant, narcissistic. You need to do what I say because I'm right and you're wrong. Insulting and all the other bad things that I just don't want. So I say okay. And I'm glad some of you noticed that. That means you're reading the comments. And if you read the comments in yesterday's video, maybe I made it sound worse than it was. But there were 4 or 5, maybe 6 comments that just got my goat. And they all came in a row, one after another. And I'm sitting there, what the hell is this? Giveaway says, Mitch is one tough nut. Oh, I'm a puppy dog. But I don't take it. Lucine is in some cheeses. Well, cheeses are an animal product. Lucine is in animal products. Lucine is very prevalent in milk. If you know what Greek yogurt is, why the hell do you think people keep telling you how good Greek yogurt is for you? It's because it's loaded with lucine. If you're a carnivore and you're eating animals, you don't have very far to look to find lucine. You probably get more of it than you need, but you're not getting it in a method or a protocol designed to really jack that mTOR response up, which stimulates protein synthesis, which rebuilds muscle. In that respect, it isn't the leucine itself. It's all those things that go into the timing and the accommodations and the methods. And it's a routine first thing in the morning that I think works, because maybe you don't see it, but I feel it. I'm pumped up. And this is only I've only had 1.5 cups of caffeine so far today. It's not like I'm flying on caffeine. I went to bed last night. I was asleep at 9:30. Got up at 4:30. That's a lot of sleep for me. So it's great. I'm hoping this will improve the quality of my sleep too. We'll see. We'll see. It took an awful lot for me to kind of change horses on this whole supplement thing. And I said, if I'm going to supplement, I've been hearing more and more as it refers to aging. And of course, that's a major concern. And all this stroke thing did for me was accelerate the sarcopenia and the muscle loss and the energy required to fix the brain just accelerated the aging for me, and I'm going to have no part of that. No part of that. I still can't go outside and walk miles. Because of my balance. Now, what I probably ought to do, and I haven't done it, but I probably ought to start. If I wasn't so busy, I probably would. Biting the bullet, swallowing my pride, grabbing the walker, and going out and trying to walk a mile. Because it's the balancing part that's so tiring. The actual walking I can do. And I've been thinking about adding that in. The problem is, it gets, right now in the summertime, it's too hot to do it during the afternoon. I think it'll be a little much. I can't do it in the morning because I'm busy in the morning. Every morning. I can't be out walking. I got a live stream to do. But I'll work it in. I'll figure out a way to work it in. But I'm telling you what, I am firmly convinced that if there's anything I can do, not only to increase my years of life, but more important than that, increase the quality of my health for those years, I'm going to take that shot, because the alternative is that I just become another statistic. I've already outlived the average lifespan of a male in America. I've outlived that by 2 years already. That was 76. 76. I'm 78 now. So something I'm doing has paid off, because I'm not diabetic. My blood pressure is normal. I take no prescriptions. I don't spend most of my time at the doctor's. I am not overweight. I had a stroke because of damage, I think, caused by surgery. There's nothing you can do about that. The surgery was unnecessary because of medical mistakes, which is the third leading cause of death in this country. They tried to kill me when they got their hands on me. They tried to poison me. They tried to drug me. They tried to cram me full of sugar and re-addict me. Fortunately, I escaped after 3.5 weeks of that and managed to get it back under control using the methods that I developed or settled on to cure the raging carb addiction that's plagued me all my life. Possibly my mother's fault, because she was a raging carb addict even way back in the 50s. We had more cookies in our house than the average 7-Eleven has. But they didn't know. It was a treat. Give the kids a treat. You don't realize you're screwing them up for life by giving them treats. And if you don't give them treats, they'll tell you how much they hate you because everybody else's parents are giving them treats. So you can't win. You can't win. I'm going to watch the replay of this. I'm not going to make a video today. I have other things to have to do the live stream tonight. So I will watch it, and I'll try to read the chat as it goes by on the replay, because everybody who I know cares about me is being very supportive. You don't get a lot of morons coming in here to this kind of live stream. That's for sure. Yeah, here's what Jem says. Mitch, yes, I saw that. You said, okay, I love it. Yeah. And I shouldn't even say okay. I should probably just say K. K. Or okay. Comment was bad. It was a bad comment. Okay. That's my best Mr. Mackey from South Park impression. Okay? There it is. Mitch says, Mitch says, okay. Okay? To every comment I make, yeah. No, I don't. That's cool. We have fun, though, don't we, with all this? Yeah. Yeah, this is true. Peter learned the one thing The one reason I don't date women anymore, the one reason is that it doesn't take much. But if living to this age and being through what I went through in business and health, everything else, and surviving with some semblance of my sanity left, the one thing I feel like I deserve is people not saying to me, you need to do that. You should do that. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Feel free to tell me what you do. That's fine. But I'm not going to debate you. And I don't want people to disrespect me like I won't disrespect you. You've never heard me be judgmental to you guys. Yeah, don't ever say to Mitch, you need to do this. And you can disagree with me. But know this. I mean, I say this with all the love and respect in the world. If you disagree with me, you have that right. Do I care? No. I don't expect everybody to agree with me on everything, or even anything. Everybody's got an opinion. We all have religious opinions and political opinions, ideological opinions. Everybody. Nobody can agree. I'm surprised that any two people agree about anything in this world. So, no, you can disagree with me all you want. Do I want to hear about it? No. Keep it to yourself. Just disagree. And I'll do the same. I don't come on here and tell you guys, I disagree with that. You're wrong. You're a moron. So, I do that to Bart K. That's his shtick. It's not mine. I don't do reaction videos. Somebody comes up and puts a video on YouTube that is just a moronic nonsense. You don't see me sitting here with a screen over my shoulder, stopping it every 2 seconds. Oh, he's wrong. He's a moron. He's an idiot. Blah, blah. No. Life's too short for that. Life's too short for that. Tuka says, Mitch, on the first day, you're right. On the second day, you're right. On the third day, I'm wrong. Yeah, pretty much. It's true. Thank you, Tuka. Thank you. I want to... Sometimes when people say things to me, my first thought is, what if they'd say that to Ken Berry's face? If Ken Berry was standing in front of you, would you say that to him? Do you really think that much more of his intelligence than mine? If so, you should watch him. Leave me alone. That's all I want. I don't want to prove to you that I'm smarter. I don't care what you think. Well, I do care what you think, but I don't want to know. I want people to think I'm onto something. I want people to think that I care and that I'm somewhat smart, but does it matter to me? Am I going to change because of what you think? Fat chance. And I don't expect any of you to do the same. If you don't love it, one of my favorite expressions of all time has always been, if you don't love it, leave it. That's how I feel about people who don't love this country. Get the hell out. Don't try to change my country to be what you want. But everybody wants to change everything to suit themselves. I don't want to change a thing. Just leave me alone. Let me live a decent life. I think you all feel that way. Don't elect politicians that want to make everything I hold dear illegal and immoral. No. You want that? Find a country where that's the way they live and move there. Brick says Mitch never let them poison him. Oh, I couldn't help it, man. I couldn't help it. I wasn't ready to start a 3-week fast in the hospital trying to recover from a stroke. Meathead. Kurt says, have you tried squats? Yeah, I'm doing. Well, I'm not. At this point in my stroke recovery, the typical difference between Western squats and Eastern squats is not a consideration for me. The consideration is just holding on to something and squatting down and getting back up again. I'm not really worried about the form right now. I just want to move the muscles. My legs, fortunately, are still fairly strong. I can spring up out of a chair, no hands. So I'm happy about that. Balance is the issue. But I'm not worried about. I'm just worried about moving right now. I'm worried about. I don't even know what the difference between an Eastern and a Western squat is. I'm concentrating now on squatting deeper and deeper and deeper, to where I'm gonna squat down and sit there. You know, like so many of these cultures do. They don't ever sit down. They just always squat and do what they're doing. But no, the fine points of it now, sorry, can't consider that. When you have your stroke, if ever, you will truly understand the meaning what I just said. 9:51. Okay, I'm sneaking up on it. We're sneaking up on 2 hours here. And yes, I think I wasn't rare form this morning, but I love it. Yes, Jem says, Mitch did exercises in yesterday's video. I did, and I did the same thing today. I didn't film it. And Rick says, I sit down by squatting. Yeah, it's very good for you. It's very good to sit in that position without having your ass on the floor, but basically sitting on your back feet. Okay. Anna Aug 7th talking about juicing and doing raw fruit dairy. Yeah. That's a recipe for disaster right there. But there's people who are still going to swear by it. Just like people, for one political reason or another, don't want us eating meat. Animal rights activists, climate change people, all these people have no idea of reality. They have no idea of how they came to be alive in this world so that they can act like such a juvenile moron and protest all the time and carry signs. Useful idiots for people with an agenda. They have no idea, no clue. They don't know how to think. They don't know how to get angry and incensed about everything. And in reality, if you know the truth is we are the way we are because we ate meat. We don't eat meat because of the way we are. We are the way we are because for millions of years we ate primarily meat, came out of the trees, separated from our monkey ancestors. But I say things like that, and I get a deluge of religious stuff telling me that's not what happened. Okay? Believe what you want. Far be for me to change your mind. But you can't say anything these days without somebody disagreeing with you. And it's very, very, God, listen, it's very therapeutic for me to come on here and just let this out because otherwise I'd be talking to myself. And in reality, I am sitting here in a room, in a house, alone, with a computer and a microphone in front of me, talking basically to myself. And fortunately, I know of the existence of other people out there by the things it shows me on my computer screen right there. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm sitting in a room with 125 people right now, which I guess is a nice crowd. And there's the side view. And where is it? There's the other side. Hey, and my shirt says, sarcastic comment loading. Please wait. Oh, yeah. So now I got 4 cameras. Am I a narcissist? No. I like push buttons. I like to make some interest. So my interest, I can show you 4 different views. I can show you this view, front view, that side, the back, and the other side. What do you think? How many other? Ken Berry can't do that. Anthony Chafee can't do that. Even Kiltsy can't do that. So, who's your daddy? You know? Oh, man. Aaron likes the t-shirt. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you so much. All right, down to the bottom of the chat. Come up on 10 o'clock. I think I've had enough. I'm going to go watch the replay of this thing and cringe, I'm sure. Oh, my God, Mitch, you didn't say that, did you? Oh, my. And we'll do it again tomorrow. Well, we'll see you tonight. See you tonight in the live stream. I hope to have a lively panel tonight. Hopefully I haven't burnt myself out by then. So, my friends, a little happy music, a little right-handed mixer. Still stiff. Still stiff. Yeah. Getting better a little bit every day. A little bit every day. But life is still definitely not back to normal yet. That's for sure. I'm pretty much a shun-in out here these days. What would I do without you guys? Danny in Boston says, happy day. Missed. Bitch. Missed my question. I don't care either. I'm sorry, Gary. I was going like a freight train today and did not. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. Mea culpa, my friends. I did not read or skim by every one of the chat. Just too much chat, not enough time. And I get on rolls, you know that. Hopefully, it's entertaining, whether you agree with me or not. And Rick, inquiring minds want to know, and you answer, I will be driving my truck in 2 weeks now. Well, I'll tell you what, Rick. When you get your truck running, you have an invitation to make a road trip up here to Melbourne, just right off I-95. Go up and see me. We'll do a live stream, side by side, right here in the studio. There you go. Consider it an open invitation. Ah, a coffee. A coffee, let's see. And there goes the happy music. Let's see. Mark Whistler. Want me 5 coffees for lab rat experiments that you already have the cup. Yes, this is one of the Mark Whistler's cups he sent me. Thank you, Mark. Barry Simon. Super chat, $9.99, $10. Thank you, Barry. Support can be beautiful. Yes, it can. And also, I have a coffee from Francine B. And Francine says, eternally thankful. Well, I am too, Francine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Mark and Francine, thank you so much for the coffees and the support. You're the best. Without a doubt, you are the best, all of you. Thanks so much for coming today. Thanks for putting up with me and my rambling. I think I may be onto something here. The eyesight thing today is the highlight of the day. The biggest surprise is I looked at the computer screen and it's sharp and I can read it with no leaning forward to see what it says. That's great. I don't know why, but it's great. It's great. We'll see if that continues. But I'm going to keep doing this for a while, unless something just doesn't feel right or feels bad about it. But so far, so good. And half an hour of doing nothing but moving in the morning. At this point, after 5 months, feels great. It feels great. Getting up early. Connie Felipe, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Lori says, Mitch better not ever invite me to visit. LOL. You won't know what it is. Somehow, Lori, I believe you. Rick says yes. Thank you, guys. See you all tonight. In the meantime, thanks for the support, guys, the super chats, the coffees. If I missed anybody, we'll catch you tomorrow. I'll see you when I watch the replay. But now I'm going to go out and I'm going to relax for an hour or so, watch this replay, and then get on with my day and eat my first meal of the day, which I think I'm going to have a ribeye cooked from frozen. Today is one of my intermittent lion days. I had eggs and bacon yesterday. Today I'm going to back to the beef. See how well I'm still doing that. So trying to reinvent my life here and get it back in essence. But until tonight, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.